Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge. Hello everyone, and I hope you're having a wonderful February. So, something that I have participated off and on with in the last few years is something called Fantasy Romance February, aka FARO Feb is what it was called. This was started by H.R. Moore and a group of authors who all write fantasy romance. And back when it first started, it was a whole month long kind of like read along and celebration of fantasy romance. And now it's more of a 2-week celebration that they do. And there's lots of fun giveaways, and it's a great way to find new fantasy romance authors and such like that. Now, I'm not like fully officially participating in this just because I have so many other things going on that I can't commit to just reading fantasy romance for 2 weeks, but I will be interviewing Juliet Cross and Veda Roth on my Instagram. The day you're seeing this, I think it's happening. It's at 6 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. Central on my Instagram. I'll have a link to my Instagram down below, and we'll be chatting for a little bit about the books that they write and everything. Very excited to talk with Juliet, of course. She is definitely a friend of the channel for sure. And I also I love fantasy romance for sure. And what I thought would be a cool thing to do today, I don't usually do many videos like this just because I have such a huge collection of books, but I thought it would be interesting to share with you as maybe a little bit of accountability, maybe just a little bit for fun, all of the unread fantasy romance that I own, because it isn't too terribly bad. I mean, it's not like I'm saying I'm going to get through these this year or anything, but it isn't horrible. But I do have a good amount. I think there's maybe like 30, 35 here. We'll see by the end. But I just went through all my shelves and grabbed all of the unread ones I had, and I'm going to share them with you. I thought that'd be cool. And maybe you'll be able to help me out a little bit by telling me which ones you really like, which ones I should prioritize. And of course, I'm sure I'll find a little bit to yak about and keep us here for a little while to go through these. So I have them kind of sort of separated in a few different ways. For the most part, I have a stack that were sent to me directly from authors and publishers. I, of course, have a stack that is all of the Nerd Fam books I've got and haven't read yet. They've sent me some beautiful books. And then I have ones that they're kind of mixed in, so we'll just go book by book. Ones that I've bought, ones that have been sent as gifts, and we'll go through those. So, yeah, we're going to start with the ones sent for me from authors. And what I also want this to be is I have received quite a few books from very independent authors, right? Again, I have some that are right from publishers, but a lot of these are from very small authors. So I at least want to like show you the book and maybe tell you a couple tropes. I will not read the blurbs for every single one of these because there's a ton, but maybe tell you a few of the tropes in it so that if you're interested, you can go check out these authors. And that way, even if it takes me a long time to get to their book, I'm still kind of passing them on to you. That is something I always want to try to do because I do warn authors who send me books, particularly unsolicited. I used to have a P.O. box. I've since canceled it just because I got a lot of volume of books through there. Now people have to like email me and ask if they can send me a book, and that just helps me control it a little more. But I used to get some unsolicited books sent my way, and I would tell people, I'm like, if you send me a book that way, I promise to put it in a book haul, but I'm not promising to get to it at any time because number one, I'm a mood reader anyway, and number two, I already have pretty big TBRs. So those were kind of my like things I tell people. And I even tell some authors too that do ask first. I'll be like, hey, just so you know, if you still want to send me your book, I will do an Instagram post, I will share it, but I'm not promising you a review. And then if they still send it to me, I'm like, okay, I did that. As for Nerd Fam, they kind of have a rule with them of like, you're never forced to read anything, but again, you are signing up for the books that you get. They just ask that you do an unboxing post, which I always do for those. And then if you are reading the books that they send you, you have a better chance of receiving more books from them. So that is something that I really tried to do. And when you see this stack of books from Nerd Fam, I just want you to know that I have read just as many as I haven't read, which is actually amazing because of the Nerd Fam just themselves, I read so much more fantasy romance last year than I did the year before that, just because they've really not only introduced me to new authors, but really pushed me to want to read more because of some of the beautiful books that they make. So those are two things to share. So let's go through the publisher and author stack and we'll get going. The light is going to be coming in and out today, and I'm just going to try to be cool with it, and I hope you guys will be cool with it too. We'll see what happens, but we got to film it. Okay, so one I've had on my shelves for a hot little minute here that I really need to get around to. Also, I have a lot of bookmarks in all of these. This one is Bespelled by Laura Thalassa. So I did receive an ARC of this one from Bloom Books, and I did read Bewitched. Is it Bewitched was the first one? But this is one I really want to get to on this list because I know the third one will be coming. Part of the reason why I waited, sorry, I won't say this about every book, but I'm going to tell a story about some of them. I mean, this is the book refuge, so, is that I enjoyed the first book, but the cliffhanger immediately gave me flashbacks to how Laura Thalassa does her cliffhangers. Okay, she always writes a trilogy or more, and there's always these cliffhangers that then you're waiting a very long time for the next one. And I just don't always do great with that, especially with the type of cliffhanger she gives you. So the cliffhanger for the first one, which was Bewitched, okay, was like, it was a lot, okay, it was a lot. And I just was like, I can't do that again. So we don't even know for sure when the third one and this one is coming. And so I'll be honest, I wasn't in a huge rush to get to this one. But I still do want to read it. I'm just, you know, and Laura Thalassa is a name that is big enough that if I don't read this one right away, like, it's okay that I didn't, you know? Whereas I feel worse about some authors that I do. But this is one definitely in, like, the keep pile. Like, I'm going to get to this. I just am waiting to find out when the third one comes. But Bloom was kind enough to send the beautiful art copy of this. So we'll get to it. All right, next up I have these two from an author who, she's a very small author, and she definitely deserves a lot more attention. And I have books 2 and 3 in her Fate Cycle series. Now, I very much want to get to these. I am this far into book 2, and I still have book 3 here. And what was so great is one of the things I asked small authors to do when they sent me their books is I asked them to highlight some of their favorite quote of theirs, just because it's fun. I love annotated books, and some of these smaller authors, I was like, if you could highlight one of your favorite lines, I would love it. And Sam went above and beyond and literally annotated them for me. Like, she put multiple thoughts in her book. She put notes in here. And I have read the first one in here, of course. And so books 2 and 3, I think the first one was Potion Master, and then there's Necromancer, and there's The Healer. Now, these ones are actually a MMF, and I believe there is I think there's like a warlock, a witch, and something else in here. I can't quite remember. But after book 1, we were just starting to get our threesome put together, and then there's a really dramatic cliffhanger. And books 2 and 3 have come out since then. So I do want to read these ones. They just have gotten away from me a little bit. So again, that's why we're doing this haul. So definitely check out Sam's books. The first one is, as I said, Potion Master. And if you love MMFs, that will be a good one for you. All right, then we have this one is Flames of Rapture by Riley Cade. And this one, I believe she's a succubus, and it's a friends to lovers. And she did sign this one to me. It says, for her voracious passion for sexy books, she wrote in here, which is so great. I believe book 2 is already available for this one as well. But yeah, this one is a succubus. Oh, it says right here. It says this is polyamory bisexual romance, which the main focus is Sadie and Jimmy's relationship. And it has forbidden and unrequited love, friends to lovers, and there are some scenes of group sex. So this one's supposed to be very spicy, fun one there. I was also sent Tribute of Fire by Sarai Wilson. I think that's how we say her name. It's either Sarah or Sarai, I'm not sure. And this one is I believe it's Greek. And there's like this competition that the princess has to be a part of, to battle to be a winner. So yeah, but this one is actually a Montlake book, so that's cool too. So this one, she sent me this one, but it is done by Montlake. So there's a Tribute of Fire. Okay, then there was Bull Moon Rising. This was sent from Ruby Dixon's PR team. And this is one that I definitely want to get to. They sent me a beautiful box with this one. I literally have used a lot of the stuff with it. There was this necklace that came with it. There was these awesome stickers and also like this bookmark. Look at this. This is a Fated Mate Minotaur romance. And I know the hardcover edition for this one was really beautiful. So this one was sent to me by them. This is an Ace Publishing Group, which I believe is a spinoff of Pegwood Random House. It's their fantasy romance imprint now. So super cool right there for Bull Moon Rising. Then I actually was sent North is the Night by Emily Rath. I didn't end up getting around to this one before it came out. I actually have the audiobook ALC of this one as well. This is a sapphic fantasy romance that just came out mid-December. So this one is from Kensington Books, and this is one that I have seen. The edition of this one that came out is gorgeous. So Emily Rath is also the author who did like the hockey Why Choose romances, and she also did a Why Choose historical that I've really liked. So definitely want to get around to hers. And now we'll get into some of the Nerd Fam ones. So those were all ones from smaller authors and the publishers. Now I have my stack of books that all came from the Nerd Fam. And the way the Nerd Fam does it, they do it a couple different ways. They do special editions sometimes for books that are already out. They also do ARC editions of some of the books. They also sometimes just do the collection of people for them and then pass that to the author, and the author actually sends you the book. So those are the different ways that that kind of gets done. So yeah, one of these, I signed up for this through the Nerd Fam, but the author sent it directly. And that is this gorgeous, gorgeous limited edition of Creatures of Chaos by Julie Hall. And she also sent some beautiful stuff with her book. Let me show you. There's an alternate cover in this one. This one's gorgeous. That's the cover in there. The naked book looks like this. And then there is that art inside. I think the back is the same. Or does it switch? Yeah, it's the same. So this one, I believe, is a love triangle. Yeah, and there's something to do with dragons in this one. I think this is a love triangle. There's a ruthless competition where the most powerful creatures compete for riches and glory. And it's win or die trying. So, love this one. This is gorgeous. I believe there's, oh yeah, this is the one too. I don't know if I can show it well here, but there's designs that way, and I think different designs there. That's so cool. And I think there's colored art inside too. Yeah, there is colored pages in here too. So this is absolutely stunning, and I definitely want to get to this one too. It's so pretty, but like the time that went into these is insane. Okay, then there was The Curse of the Soul Walker by Sharon Elwood. This one came with this cool thing that I have. Came with this creepy candle. I love that one. This one is, I believe it says there's lots of feminine rage in this one. And I think there's some like zombie type characters in this one too. This one's so cool. But yeah, this is one of the Nerd Fam arcs, which is so cool. I love that. And this one, let's see. It is Dun Gray, a commander of the Undead Cursed Legion, has led it in terrorizing and spilling blood throughout the kingdom of Namval. When Zariel, a powerful young sorcerer, lifts the curse, Dungray and her army must learn to live among the very people they oppressed. But the curse never forgets its servants. So while she struggles with her newfound mortality and haunting fate, so it sounds like she was turned mortal, which is very interesting when she wasn't before. So there's that one. There is Gold Sin by Aveline Knight. This one was a finished copy. I was sent some beautiful art in this one. Look at that. And this one is a brother of her ex-boyfriend decides to rekindle his interest in me. I've known him my whole life, and that's how I know having his blue eyes follow me is a bad sign. He ignored me for years. Now I'm all he sees. So this one is like an obsessed hero, ex-boyfriend's brother. Interesting, but magical at the same time. I don't know. I love the imagery on this one. This one was fun because I was actually sent 2 boxes of this, which was weird. Somehow they had my name on there 2 times. And so I was able to do a giveaway of one of these, which made me really happy to do, to pass on a new author to someone. So there's that. Oh, here's one that's actually on my TBR for this month, and I will be getting to it for sure. This one comes out February, I think, like 20th or something, so I have some time. So this is an ARC edition as well, and it even has a bonus scene in the back for ARC readers, which is cool. So this one is called Monster of the Dagger Mountains, and it's so cool. I love the bookmark. This one says, he stole magic from a god. She's gonna steal it from him. So yeah, this one is on my TBR for this month. Look at that. There is The Sundered Realms by Casey Blair. This one is so cool looking. I love Nerd Fan bookmarks, by the way. They're like my favorite thing ever. I'm obsessed with them. Look at that artwork. Look at this. This one says, wielding magic was the only way to fight demons. The act of putting pen to paper called forth ineffable power. So this one is book 1 in, oh, it just says book 1 of The Sundered Realms. And this one I believe is like a, she needs to get, she has a mentor. I think it's her in love with a mentor, but this one says it's equal parts fantasy and romance in a world where being a huge nerd about languages makes you epic at magic. This is action-packed. It's a combat ambassador heroine and the most dangerous man in the universe, devoting all his attention to making her unstoppable. So yeah, it's like, this one's so cool. I've actually kind of been waiting for this one until I saw that the next book was coming out, because I know there's going to be a big cliffhanger for this one. So I have been a little bit waiting for there to be more of that one because I am nervous about the cliffhanger. Okay, this one was sent a finished copy to me. This is books 1 through 3 in the Protectors Guild, and I know this one is supposed to be a why choose. So yeah, they sent me a finished copy of this one, and it's a Shadows of the Human World, a secret society of demon hunters fights to keep humanity from the supernatural forces that threaten to tear it apart. So there's Max Bentley, a rookie hunter struggling to find her place, and the biggest threat might turn to be the 4 brooding, enigmatic members of the most elite team of hunters. So that's gonna be a why choose. I was sent a finished copy of A Kiss of Iron by Claire Sager, which I actually snagged. This one says, Memento Mori, take pleasure while you can. I grabbed actually the audio of this one because it was a finished copy of it. So that's really cool. Let's see if I can fit one more. I think that's all I can fit up there. Then I received a finished copy, hardback, of The Other Side of the Mirror. And this one was to promote that book 2 has just recently come out. So I'm definitely ready to read that one. This one has some sprayed edges on it right there. So this one says, 7 years after her family's murder, Eva is attacked by a magical creature and abducted to the fairy realm. When a handsome fae saves her, Bash reveals that he must bring Eva to her fairy soulmate to stop the world-ending curse. She relents, but only for the opportunity to find answers about her parents' death. So yeah, this was book 1. Then there is this gorgeous special Nerd Fam copy of Daughter of the Drowned Empire by Frankie Diane Malice. This is stunning. Love. This one has, I believe this one also has some Greek type stuff. There's an emperor dies. The Luminary, the Lumerian Empire. So that one's super cool. This one, yes, it says it's #1 in historical fantasy and #1 in Greek and Roman myth and legend. So Cleopatra meets Fourth Wing in this romantic fantasy series with forbidden romance, political intrigue, and slow burn. So this one is stunning. This one has some like art inside of it too. So that's beautiful. And then the last unread one from them was actually a part of a set, but I've read the first 3. I just haven't read this one yet, and I will be reading it very soon. And this is Goddess of Light. This was a special set. I shared an unboxing of this on my YouTube shorts. They made this special set of the Underworld series, and actually all of the books like fit together to make a picture. But yeah, this was the 4th and final book in this series. I've read books 1 through 3. So I will be getting to this one. It's definitely the thickest one. And yeah, so those are all the books I've been sent by Nerd Fam that I haven't read. And I have read a good amount of them, don't worry. But those are the ones I haven't got to yet, and I hope to soon. Okay, now we're going to go a bit faster through some of these, because these are all ones that I've owned for a while. So for Christmas, I actually received the, what is this series even called? The Shepherd King from my sister. She gave me books 1 and 2. I actually found one of these at a used bookstore, and one of them I bought at Barnes & Noble. But these are The Fallen Empire by Grace Draven. And let's see, which one of these is... Okay, Phoenix Unbound is the first one. And this one is A Witch Blazes but Does Not Burn. A Gladiator Bleeds but Does Not Break. Together they will change the empire which sought to destroy them. So I love Grace Draven. What I've read of her, I've always wanted to read a little bit more from her. So I have those too. I found this at a used bookstore. It's a little beat up, but it is The Poison Princess, book 1 in the Arcane Chronicles. Which are some of Cress's that I want to read. Oh, I didn't grab book 2. I do have book 2 in paperback as well. But I found this. This is her like YA series of hers. I've heard some good things about this, but I'm kind of waiting to be in the mood to read kind of these like younger books anyway. But I mean, I love Cressley Cole, and I've read pretty much everything else she's written, so I do want to give these a try sometime. I have 2 books from Juliet that I haven't read yet. I do still need to read her re-release of Bound in Black but in the Vessel trilogy. I have read books 1 and 2. She actually got the rights back to these books, and so she had new covers made for them. And she did add some spicy scenes into these ones before. And these are a trilogy about the same couple. In the beginning of the series, they can't be together for reasons, and at the end of the second book they're actually married, but then something happens that separates them now. So I just have Bound in Black still to read there. And then I still need to read book 4 in the Veil of Stars, Hunt of the Dragon. So those are 2 from her I haven't read yet. I do have another Laura Thalassa actually. I bought this years ago, and I've never heard much about this series, but it is a series that she co-wrote with someone. So I have Blood and Sin. It says it's book 1 in the Infernari series. So if you've read this, tell me if I should check it out. I bought it because at the time I was like, ooh, Laura Thalassa, but then it just kind of has sat on my shelf. So tell me if I should try this one. I found The Rise of the Cinderfae at a used bookstore, and I was just surprised to see it as a like indie book that was in this store. I have not heard anything about this. I know it has a new cover now, but I don't know anything about this series, but I found this cover and it was only $3 for this book, so I grabbed it. But it's by Whitney Dean and it's The Rise of the Cinderfae. It feels very like dated, but I guess maybe it's not. Like, this says it was from 2023, but I don't know. I love this cover too, which I think is really cool. So yeah, tell me what you know about this and if I should read it. Okay, I have this one. I don't know how romantic it is, but this is one on my TBR, so I thought I would share it. It's A Sleight of Shadows by Kat Howard. I waited years for this book because I truly had loved An Unkindness of Magicians. It was a book that just like shook me. And so I was very eager for this one. It took such a long time to come out. And now I feel like I need to reread the first one before I read this. But I own it and it's so beautiful. I just love these two. So someday I'll get to it. I don't think it's a super long read. So I think I could get through it pretty quickly, but I do have that one. I also have a YA/new adult one, The Darkness Within Us by Trisha Levenseller. I bought this when it released because the, what was the first one? The Shadows Between Us was the first one. And I loved that book back when it came out. I really liked Trisha Levenseller. I actually read an arc of The Shadows Between Us. It was one of the first like traditionally published arcs that I got way back when. So I did buy this when it released, and I'll probably get the audiobook for that one, would be my guess. I also bought The North Wind by Alexandra Warwick. I just think this one's so cool. It says that this one is inspired by Beauty and the Beast and the myth of Hades and Persephone. And it says for fantasy, romance, it's perfect for Sarah J. Maas, Scarlett St. Clair, and Jennifer L. Armentrout fans. And the heroine's name is Wren of Edgewood. You guys may or may not know this. I have a soft spot when the heroines are named Wren. I'm actually reading a fantasy right now that the heroine's name is Wren. It's a very popular heroine in fantasy. One of my nieces, her name is Wren, so I always kind of like when I find that anyway. But yeah, this one, I just saw this. I know this was one that was originally indie, and then it got picked up by Simon & Schuster. And I know there's another book in this as well, but it says this is a standalone, enemies to lovers, slow burn, the first in a series sprinkled with Greek mythology. Because I believe the next one is The West Wind, and I've already seen that one is out, but I haven't even read this one yet, so I didn't buy that yet, but I love this cover so much. I had picked up books 2 and 3 in the Flesh and Bone series because I got these ones signed when I went to Book Bonanza a few years ago. I still haven't read book 1 yet either, but I don't know where that one is. I had a special edition of that one, so I don't know if I gave it off to someone else, but I have the audiobook of that one. So I have these two in her series by Harper L. Woods, yeah. I bought signed editions of books 3 and 4 in the Isle of the Forgotten by Tiffany Roberts. They, quite a while ago, had signed editions of their books available before they had them on their website and everything. And I'd read the first 2 books in these, and so I bought these at the time too. This is the Isle of the Forgotten. There's these are fated mates. These are, they write very obsessed heroes that are just amazing. I love them so much. So I have those. I actually have, this is so funny. I can't remember why I bought this one. I think I found it at the time. It was I don't know. I feel like this original cover was at Walmart or something. And so I had to buy it because, yeah, it has a sticker on the front, which was annoying. But I actually have this original cover of A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows by Holly Renee. And so I just haven't been able to unbox it because I love this cover so much. And I know that the covers changed when her books got picked up or whatever. So I have that copy of that. I have The Wolf and the Wildflower by Ella Fields. Definitely want to get to this sometime. I used to read Ella Fields pretty regularly when her books were coming out, and then I just fell off of it kind of. But I love her covers that she has. What are they called? The Cold, is it the Cold Queen and the I can't remember, but that duet of hers, loved those. It was so dark and twisty. I loved it. So I have that one. Then I still haven't read this yet, but I have the original of Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, Mortal Enemies to Monster Lovers by Carissa Broadbent. This is the only Carissa Broadbent I haven't read, and so I'm kind of saving it for the right time, but it's also at this point, it's like, you gonna read it or not? But I did love, there was a series of all these authors who did these ones that match, and I have all of them on my wish list because they're kind of like frivolous of me to get them, but I do have them on my wish list, so if you want to send me one, then I can't say no to it, right? But this one I did buy, but then as a gift, I was sent this one from my friend Tara, sent me a copy of Slaying the Frost King. This one's by Candace Robinson and Elle Beaumont. So you can see how these ones were all a part of this like slaying series that they did. And I know there's one from like Helen S. has one in there too, and some other authors. So I eventually want to collect all of those if I can. I was gifted, one of my patrons a while ago sent me just a box full of books for me to choose whichever ones I wanted from it. And two of these in here were fantasy romances I've heard about for a long time. But now they've just kind of sat on my shelf. So I do have Rain and Ruin by J.D. Evans. I love this cover. I know that Big Sis read this recently, and it was a bit of a, like, she said it was more fantasy than romance, maybe. I don't know. But I do love that this one is like Middle Eastern fantasy. There's a sultan, and she wants to be the one to rule. So I just love this cover too. So either way, I have it on my shelves and it's beautiful. So there's that. Then The Bird and the Sword by Amy Harmon. I've heard lots of good things about this one as well. Then I was actually gifted I Married a Lizard Man by Regine Abel by one of my patrons. They sent it to me. And then the last one that was sent by a patron is, this is friggin' gorgeous, is A Court of Nightmares by K.A. Knight. They sent me the darkly bookish box copy of this one. I believe this one is a Why Choose. That's usually what K.A. Knight writes. Look at the naked cover of this one. It is a stunner, like, no joke. Here's the inside of it. Let me see. Oh yeah, here's the back side of it. She's got a whole crew in this one. And then here is the other alternate cover. So this one's gorgeous. So yeah, that is my entire, for what I can recall, that is my entire unread TBR of fantasy romance. So as you can see, it's not awful. It could be worse for sure. But those are the ones I've collected that I still need to get to. So let me know if there's any you think need to be prioritized. I will tell you, like, out of all of them, like I said, I will be reading The Monster of the Dagger Mountains very soon. And I mean, basically all of these ones from Nerd Fam, I want to get to them sooner. I have the audiobook for Kiss of Iron. I'm actually currently reading one of the Nerd Fam ones. Maybe I'll show you that before I go. Iron and Embers just released, and they had sent these ARC editions of these ones, and I am halfway through this one right now. Really liking that. I also grabbed the audiobook of these. So that is everything. So let me know which ones I should prioritize. I would love to have some of your guys' thoughts on that. So thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate you. I know I've got like the crazy hair and vibe going on today, but it was like, you know what? Let's just share these books. I don't want to think too hard. And so there we are. But tell me what fantasy romance you're looking forward to. And if you remember to, please come and watch us on Instagram Live. I know I don't watch a lot of Instagram Live, so this will be a new thing for me. I've only hosted, I think, 2 ever. but that's how they wanted me to do it, so that's what we're gonna do. And yeah, come say hi to me and Juliet and Vila. It'll be great. So thanks so much for watching, friends. We'll see you next time. Bye.